DeWanda, and I'm seated by myself. Usually I would have Jiabu or Isaac Agbosu, but this time I wanted to sit down and I wanted to give my subscribers an update on what's happening with the Cyber Cafe. So I finally yesterday was able to actually sign for the land. Now this whole thing got very, very, very complicated, unexpectedly and irritatingly. So this is where the art of doing business gets dicey in Ghana. So the gentleman was selling the structure. It turns out when he was doing the quick sale, all he was selling was the structure. And he had had a long-standing relationship with the landowner. So it turns out the woman who was the landowner had an affection for his wife. She saw her kind of as a daughter, had extended herself extensively to her, loved on her so much she did not charge her for the structure, allowed her to have the structure on her land for free. And that relationship soured. The woman broke her heart, left unexpectedly. And so he was commanded to remove the structure. So that's why he was selling it. Now, of course, when he was selling it, he did not mention any of those dirty details. In fact, he was quite positive about introducing me to the lady so I could work out the terms of the land, saying that probably it would cost about 15 to 20 Ghana, which is roughly around $5 or $6 a month, depending on the strength of the dollar. But of course you pay ahead a year or two, so that would be multiplied by 12 or 24 or whatever. But yeah, he was confident about that. You know, came, gave me the keys, was, you know, quite jovial. But I did notice that, like, at a certain point, he was ready to go. So it turns out that the lady couldn't stand them. She actually was very angry, very injured, did not want the structure to remain on the land, had decided that she would not be renting the land. And so initially I had really tried very hard not to have my husband very involved in the details of the transaction because, you know, like I said in the previous video, we had locked horns a lot about just sort of negativity, you know, just about a lot of naysaying and not really being in my corner. So I said, well, it's best that you know, just backspace delete yourself from this issue. Well, as life would have it, he inserted himself, and rightfully so, as my husband, and he negotiated, pleaded, whatever you want to call, with the woman. He talked with her extensively, along with, you know, a couple of other people, and she changed her mind. So she was allowing me to have the land, but of course he had to sit through, on 2 separate occasions, the long details about what the woman had done, who said what, where, when, why, which none of any of it had anything ever to do with me. So it took forever to get this signed. It took like even a week or so. And so what she did was kind of a good cop, bad cop. She felt sympathetic that I had, you know, paid on the structure. She had suggested, had she known, she would have told me not to get the structure. She began to give suggestions about how I could improve the structure, tear down the structure, replace it with bricks. All of these details my husband brought home to me, and all of them I told him, I don't want to hear that. What I'd like is just straight business. Give me the contract, tell me what the terms are, let me sign it, and I will make decisions about what I'm going to do with this structure, okay? So fast forwarding along, we finally get to the meeting where we're going to discuss it. She had agreed to 1 year and was sympathetic, okay. Then they do good cop, bad cop. So she disappears and they've called for the uncle. And the uncle comes and he is hardcore. We won't rent it, we're leasing it. We're leasing it for 2 years. And he made it clear, he didn't stutter. We need 2 years because we have something we need to do with this money. So here was a structure that they had for years allowed somebody else to use for free. There was no land payments from the previous person. And now they want 2 years, even though I'm only requesting 1 year, because they what? have something they need to do with the money. My husband wanted to protest. He said, no, I'm pleading with you. With it only. The man said, no, you can sign or don't sign. He's doing his thing where he's bartering. And I said, listen, he has not stuttered. Leave it. Okay. So sometimes Isaac don't understand the concept of good cop, bad cop, where you have a person come out and they seem so sweet and innocent and they're like, you know, bumbling and they don't know this and that. And then they send the brute in, the one who understands all the terms and is an enforcer. I said, this is a common practice. I'm familiar with it. You're either going to accept the terms or you're not going to accept the terms. But what I don't do, what I don't like to appear to be kissing your ass. I don't like to beg. So leave it. If we're accepting it, we're accepting it. If we're not, we're not. So I got him and I said, listen, what you don't get out in the wash, you can get out in the rinse. I am confident I will do well at the shop, that it will grow, that I will make back whatever this loss is, okay? Sometimes you have to lose a little to win. I said, let's secure this land. Once the land is secured, we can go from there. We secured the land. Now, the gentleman who was selling the structure had agreed to accept half of the payment with an understanding from me that at the end of the month, I would give him the other half. Well, in the interim, all of this other minutia, this garbage, this boo-boo showed up in the middle. So he sends the agent to ask me, would he be receiving his money? And I said, well, now we have a problem. The problem is you've attached me to a whole bunch of mess, and you were deceptive, and you lied through omission. So now you will not get the full amount of your money. The portion I had to pay that extra year, I'm taking that out of your ass. That's coming from what would have been given to you, and I'm giving it to them, okay? If you want the final part, then you will come. I will not wire it. You can come like you did when you handed me the keys onto the land, and you can face me, my husband, and the landowner and the woman, because she has made it clear you will not show up. She's furious with you, and that's why you were trying to skedaddle from the situation. The agent said he would tell him. I said, listen, he can have the one portion. He can definitely have that, and I will keep that available for him. Or if he does not like these terms, he can come and get his structure, because now I've secured the land. I can take my time and put a similar structure up, or I can switch to a brick and mortar, whatever I see fit. But what's not going to happen is you're not going to link me to suffering and you go off and be blessed. We will all suffer together. I have not heard from him. I have not heard from the agent. We did secure the land, and so we're moving forward. This has been a huge lesson in stress and patience and perseverance. I had made up my mind that this structure was mine, that was my location, that I'm having the cyber cafe, that I needed the space. And so it's been a long battle talking to others, only here, because my family and friends abroad get it, that you're not going to deter me from it. Nothing's going to stop me from it, because this is for my own mental health and well-being. And I don't believe in these people who claim they have these anointings and they don't even believe in their own anointing. I'm confident the location will thrive. I'm confident I will make back what was paid. But what I'm also trying to deal with, the fact is that I suffered a penalty. And I suffered a penalty with that family because I'm an American. They said, this American woman is attached to this property. We're going to charge. So what was supposed to be 20 Ghana, they charged me 50 Ghana per month. Okay? Well, when I requested 1 year, they forced me to take 2 years. I shouldn't say forced, because, you know, I had an option. I could have walked. But I'm fledgling about that. 2 years. So I explained to my husband, that's a penalty. They're penalizing me because they were mad at somebody else. they hear that American accent and they say, hey, let's make this work for us. So I'm sharing this too for repatriates, for people visiting, for people who want to do business, that these are the type of snares. These are the type of complexities that you run into. Now, I've been nothing but good to people in this country, but it doesn't make me exempt. There's something about just the fact that I'm from America, just the fact that there must be some money attached to it, some greater bank attached to it, that there has to be this penalty. Am I crying about it? No, I'm talking about it with you all. I'm sharing it openly the same way I would share the joy. But does it frustrate me? Is it irritating? Is it hurtful? Even parts of it's confusing. Will it, stop anything? No. But it's important to understand. It's important to share. It's important to know that even a simple transaction can shift just because you're in it. So my husband and I signed. I'm at the port. I've already had some guys out to tell me about my Wi-Fi strength and where I need to put my router and my modem. I'm already working and picking out the cups and this and that. I have friends in America who've already donated me some money to help me begin the process of painting and decorating and all this type of stuff. So God is in this mix. It will ultimately turn out positive. But even if you're not buying land, even if you're leasing land, there's some snares in there. So that I think folks should just know and prepare for and have a decision, knowing in their heart how they are going to manage those type of experiences. So I'm going to sign off here, and hopefully I'll be able to give you a really, really positive update about the next steps. Maybe in a couple of weeks or so, okay? Be blessed.